You know you're an important person when you walk in and all the cameras are, all the photographers go start scuttling around, getting busy, and
David Basil just said Larry Zonka, Mean Joe Green, and Hunter Yurachek in the same vein. I said, David, you're a little off there. Which one of these does not belong in this same sentence?
Well, I tell you what, I guess after the events that happened Saturday, all of a sudden the atmosphere, I mean, the people want to hear from you. I mean, you became a lot more popular.
I don't know if I became more popular or not.
I caught myself. I was like, I don't know the best way to say this, but interesting. How about that?
Sure, there you go.
The interest level went way up.
Yeah, intrigue.
Yes, what's this guy going to say?
Right. Well, what do you want me to say?
How were you feeling Saturday?
I was disappointed. I think Coach Morris opened his press conference with that way. You know, really thought after the Colorado State game and the way that fourth quarter played out that we had found a way to win a game and kind of flip what we had been going through for the last couple of years as a football program. And so it was disappointing to see how we came out and played on Saturday. All due credit to San Jose State. They probably played their best game in a long time. But that aside, they shouldn't come in to Fayetteville and beat the Arkansas Razorbacks in their home football stadium. So it was a disappointing loss, disappointing performance from our coaching staff, our players, on down. Everybody associated with our program. And Coach Morris has taken ownership of that for sure. He did that right after the game.
Do you have conversations with Coach Morris weekly, daily? How does
we talk just about every day.
Really?
We talk every Sunday. We talk every Monday. We talked Sunday. That was no different than what we do after a win or after a loss. I can tell you that it was a very somber meeting. Coach was really down yesterday. He's down for a number of reasons. He got a piece of really bad news during the course of the morning. A former quarterback from him in high school, the former Old Miss quarterback,
Jevin Sneed,
passed away, and so he was disappointed not only in their loss, but that was another kind of thing that kind of piled on him and his family early on Sunday morning. And so it was, we talked a lot about Saturday.
I think we all realize it's not a quick fix, and that's we just had high school head coach Kent Laster on the show, and he's taken Central High School, and they were struggling for years, and he's got them 3-0 and playing good football, and he said, it takes time. How long you're a patient person. We all like to think we're patient, but then something like Saturday happens, and we've been taking calls for an hour and a half, and fans' hands are up in the air, and it's all of a sudden we've lost our patience.
Sure. No, I get it. I understand, and I understand where our fans are coming from, and I share their disappointment. Coach Moore shares their disappointment. Saturday was disappointing. We are a better football team than we played on Saturday. But we're putting 18 to 22-year-olds. We patted those kids on the back all week long and told them how great they did against Colorado State. They know they have a Texas A&M game ahead of them. And, we're not a good enough football program not to be appropriately prepared and to play our best game in and game out, and expect we're going to win the game. And that's not where our football program is right now. We've got to show up, and we've got to give our best effort week in and week out if we're going to have a chance to win the game.
You felt like that was part of it? Because I did. I thought they looked a little sloppy. Maybe they weren't as focused and overlooked San Jose State a little
I think
bit.
Absolutely that was a part of it. But, again, that's not where we are as a football program. We can't overlook anybody we're playing on our football schedule. We've only won 4 games in the last 2 years. We can't overlook anyone. We've got to prepare throughout the course of the week like every game is an opportunity to play one of the best teams in the country. And I expect that we will come out and play really, really well on Saturday. That is our expectation. Whether that leads to a win over Texas A&M, I have no idea. Texas A&M is 2-2. They're trying to fight and scratch and claw not to be 2-3 just like we are. They've lost a couple of games. Their fan base probably thought they had a better chance of winning. Obviously better opponents, Auburn and Clemson, but they're a 2-2 team that's fighting for their lives right now as well.
When you're rebuilding, like I said, it takes time. I see all these freshmen on this team, and I know that the freshmen are going to grow up. And I've said it on the show. I think when they're juniors, this is when the time this team needs to be clicking. They need a couple of years. Am I on the same page with you?
We have a number of freshmen on our team. I think if you go back and look at our roster, we have almost 50, if not 50 plus freshmen and redshirt freshmen, another 25 sophomores. We have a young team. That's not an excuse. We should have not played and performed the way we did on Saturday, regardless of the youth of our team. We should have been better on Saturday, and we were not. And we're a young team, absolutely. A lot of teams are putting young kids out there and playing. That can be an excuse but that is not an excuse we're going to use for this past weekend.
Hunter Yurachek with us, speaking to the Little Rock Touchdown Club. I want to thank our friends from Arkansas Urology. Hunter, Friday night, I saw some tweets after my high school football show. 6,000 plus fans at Baum Stadium. That's absolutely incredible for a scrimmage against Oklahoma. And I saw a stat today, that would have been the largest crowd for 9 of the 14 SEC teams this past season. That just shows Arkansas baseball and how much fans love it.
It just shows the passion of our fan base and their what they have for baseball right now. Baseball's winning. It's easy to have that passion. We've got passion for our football and basketball programs and many of our other programs. That passion is just directed in a little bit different direction for some of our programs right now, but it just speaks volumes of the support we get from across this state. 6,000 plus fans. You said it, for a scrimmage in September on a Friday night where it rained most of the day back in Fayetteville. 7:30 start, went into the early morning hours on Saturday, and we still had probably 400 or 500 people when the game ended at 12:30. There's a lot of excitement around our baseball program right now. Passionate fan base that supports that baseball program. They support us in a number of different ways. I mean, quite honestly, when we scored that touchdown to tie San Jose State, that's one of the loudest times since I've been in Fayetteville that I've heard that stadium. It was, there was a lot of people that stuck through that game and were there for our team in the end.
I guess that's the best thing going back to football is people are upset. When they don't care anymore, that's the worst thing you can have.
Absolutely. You're exactly right. I mean, it's great to have a passionate fan base. It's great to have a fan base that cares. And, people have their opinions, and they are free to share their opinions. And I said this last year, if you want to boo, boo. You're entitled to your reaction. I don't have to agree with your reaction, but you're entitled to your reaction as a fan, and I don't want to take that away from our fans because we have an unbelievably passionate fan base, and that's what makes this state and the University of Arkansas and our athletic program so special.
I wanted to read this to you. It was from Rhonda on our Keithley Service Company live fan feedback. She just wanted to say the game day experience was so fun, so much better than past years. The light show was fun. I guess I talk about the new the lights with the phones at the third quarter, but that's one of the things, and we've said it on the show, kudos to you because you're trying to do something to make game day experience more fun. You got to create that FOMO because in the past, and look, I'm guilty about it sometimes because if I go to Fayetteville from Little Rock and go watch the game, cover the game, whatever the case, that's my only game of the day because I'm going to drive up. That's 3 hours, go to the game, tailgate, whatever, and drive back home. That's the only game I'm going to see. Or I can stay at home. I can watch about 5 or 6 different games. I can flip around.
Absolutely.
And I don't miss anything. If you go to a game, you better make it worth the while is what I'm saying. And that's what I think you guys are trying to do.
Absolutely. I mean, that started with the creation of Hogtown on Maple Street where, we've closed down Maple and right in front of the stadium between Stadium Drive and Razorback Road. We have a live band starting 4 hours before the game. We've got a huge kind of life-size television that's playing a variety of college football games. We've got a beer garden. We've got a dozen food trucks. We have games for the kids. We have another team from our athletic department that's out signing autographs for every game. That's where the Hog Walk starts now and goes through there. We've got our cheerleaders having a pep rally. And then that feeds into the stadium where we've enhanced the Wi-Fi experience. So now when you walk in the stadium, there's not a problem with connectivity when you come in there. The light show we were able to put on display during the third quarter on Saturday night because we had a night game. I mean, things as simple as now, having nursing stations throughout the venue. We've got a partnership with Lyft. We've got a place where you can ride your bike near to the stadium and leave your bike there. We've got stroller corrals. I mean, we send out a survey after every single game, surveying our season ticket holders about their experience from game to game, because it's very important that they have a great experience, and I love that feedback that we're getting. And we take the feedback that people give us from week to week about their experience, off the field, the off the field experience, and we want to make sure that they're having a great experience.
How have the beer sales gone? And I don't mean money-wise.
Sure.
I just mean any problems, any issues? Has it been a
Absolutely.
positive?
It has been an extreme positive. I mean, we have had one incident each of the first 3 games that was somewhat alcohol related. Doesn't mean that was alcohol related because of the sales inside of our stadium. Obviously, there's alcohol being consumed outside of our stadium, and so it's been very, very positive. The sales have been very, very good, upwards of $150,000 in sales each of the first 3 games. Minimal problems, minimal complaints. It's been very well received, and it's been very well used as an experience amenity by our fans.
Sales stay the same for each game, or when you have success, there's more beer sales, or were there more beers sold Sunday during the failure?
Quite honestly, we had our biggest crowd the opening weekend, and the crowds have been a little bit less the last 2, but what we've done is we've learned how we queue lines, and we've added a few more beer stations, so the beer sales have actually increased as the season has gone on, but the attendance has been a little bit lower. And that's more, I think, because we're more efficient in how we're selling, queuing fans and providing more opportunities for them.
Get them in and get them out.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then get them back in.
Get them back into the stadium
I
watching
gotcha.
the game.
How do you fix the product on the field? You've talked about fixing it outside,
Sure.
and we all know the more you win, the more people are going to come to a game and enjoy it.
Absolutely. We're going to fix the product on the field with time. It's going to take time, and that's not an excuse. And yes, we do have to be patient. We're 16 games into the Chad Morris tenure. If we were sitting 3-1 today, we'd all be feeling really good about where our football program is right now. The fact of the matter is we're sitting 2-2. And so it's not time to press, in my opinion, as a director of athletics, to press the panic button. Should we have won the game on Saturday? Absolutely, we should have won the game. That's a game we should have won. We didn't win that. Now we've got to move forward. We've got a great challenge ahead of us against Texas A&M. We've got to put Saturday behind us. I know our team's working on that, our coaching staff, and I need our fans to do that as well. Like, we need those passionate Razorback fans to direct their passion in the right direction to support this team. They're working hard. We're going to get over this hump, but we're going to do it together.
Anybody listening can hear your passion and your desire. How do you jump in and help? I'm not saying calling plays or anything, but what is your role?
My role is to make sure that Coach Morris and our staff and our student athletes know that I'm still in their corner and I'm still backing them. I have a tradition that I started 10 years ago when I was at Coastal Carolina as an athletic director where, before the game I shake every player's hand. After the game, win or lose, I shake every player's hand. I mean, they just went in and kind of fought a battle, fought a war. And, our players see me after Saturday was the same way. I was disappointed. They were disappointed, but I shook every one of their hands as they were coming into the locker room. Some of them didn't want to shake my hand because they were disappointed. But, man, that is something that they need to know, that I am there supporting them. Coach Morris needs to know that. His staff needs to know that. That's my role right now. I'm not a football coach. Nobody wants me drawing up plays and doing X's and O's. That's what Coach Morris and his staff is hired to do. But what they need to know is that I'm there and I'm fighting for them and I'm there to help them.
Great conversation. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate it. One of these years, we're going to get you to Little Rock after a win.
Absolutely. That's what I told David. I said last year he scheduled me after North Texas. This year after this game, I said I may want to just wait and schedule myself, kind of have a floating schedule for me.